Hello from Yes Queen channel. Thank you very much for watching our channel. And in today's video, I would like to talk about my favorite lesbian movie of all time. It's Carol. Yes, it's Carol. Starred by one and only Cate Blanchett and Rooney Mara. So, when that movie was released, within the first week of its release, I went to the movie theater 3 times because I fell for it. It's just so beautiful. Of course, I've already said it's a lesbian movie, so it's about 2 women falling in love with each other. But they don't just focus on lesbian, it's a really beautiful love story, and everyone should watch it, really. So, as I would like you to watch Carol, I would like to briefly explain the storyline and the summary of the movie. And also, I would also like to share some points, some factors that make this movie Carol so great. And in the end, I would like to share my personal favorite lines, favorite scenes, and my opinion. So please keep watching. So first, the summary. So it's about back in 1950s. This girl called Terez, who is in the early 20s, working at the department store. And she has a boyfriend, but she doesn't really show any interest in humans in general. So, she's very cool. But then it changes when this woman called Carol enters the department store looking for the Christmas present for her daughter. So Carol is actually going through a divorce. Her marriage life is actually not functioning at all. So they have loveless marriage life, but she really loves her daughter. So her and her husband are arguing over the parental right because they both want to keep their daughter. And from the moment Carol and Terez saw each other, they felt something special, But then again, it was back in 1950s, lesbian was seen as taboo so much more than now. And also, Terez had a boyfriend, and Carol was married and had a daughter. So, they don't rush into anything, They slowly build up their relationship, and it's very beautiful. Yes, and it's very emotional. So, after I watched Carol, me personally, I like mature women. So, and of course, Cate Blanchett is so perfect. So, and at that time I was single, and I've already told you I went to the movie theater 3 times since it was during the first week of its release. There was one time I dragged my best friend to watch it with me. So after watching it together, I was telling my best friend, oh my god, I really should move to US and work at the department store to meet my own Carol. And my best friend, she's usually so angel and so kind and so sweet. When I said it, she was like, seriously, Mary? Seriously? And I was like, yes, seriously, at that time I thought it was a very creative idea. But then again, I just started thinking, oh my god, then I was talking about Cate Blanchett as a Carol, so I was like, okay, maybe I'm dreaming too much, so I didn't make a decision to go to US to work at the department store, But later on, I met my own Carol in the end, so which is my girlfriend, and I told her, oh my god, you are my own Carol. And when I said that to her, she was like, please, no, don't say that, all the Carol fans are gonna kill me. And I was like, no, have you looked at yourself, look at the mirror, you're so beautiful, you're just you, and you're my own Carol. That's the end of the story, So yeah, I can so relate to it because, Carol and Terez have age gap, and also that also made me think as well. So I've talked about the summary and I got a little bit too excited, but now I'm gonna talk about what makes this movie Carol so great. I mean, there are of course so many factors, but I just narrowed it down to 3 factors because I just don't want to keep like talking like forever, which I can when it comes to Carol. So the first one is character slash actresses. So I'll start with Carol, played by one and only Cate Blanchett. So Carol usually is very confident, and she's of course very beautiful and very elegant. But when it comes to Terez, sometimes she's very cute. You know, on the phone, you know, when she wants to see Terez, she's very cute. And also, you know, like as I've already mentioned, she's going through a divorce and she cares about her daughter. So like she struggles, you know, if she lies about herself and decides to stay in the family, or if she stays true to herself and be with the love of her life, Terez. So Cate Blanchett really depicts the agony of Carol, and so I mean, I got very emotional watching Carol during the movie. And again, I mean, who could have played Carol better than Cate Blanchett? You know, I'm so grateful that the director chose Cate Blanchett for the role of Carol. So thank you very much for everyone who made this video, and thank you very much for Cate Blanchett, you know, because thank you very much for like being on the movie, you know, like really, thank you. And now Terez, played by Rooney Mara. So I mean, I've already said it a little, but so Terez doesn't really care about anything, you know. She's very cool, but also seems like a bit dry. But that changes when she meets Carol. You know, she really wants to know more about Carol, and like the way she looks at Carol is like she's in awe, you know. And that reminds of me when I'm looking at my girlfriend, when I'm with my girlfriend, because I'm like, wow, like how come you're so beautiful? How come you're so amazing like that? So she reminds me of me actually, you know. I mean, at that time I was also actually very into camera. I was always carrying my camera around, and you know, I was taking so many pictures. So like that reminds me of me, you know. And then even now, like, I mean, I stopped using camera because I break it so many times. My clumsiness is unbelievable. But I still take loads of pictures with my smartphones, and my favorite pictures are, you know, when I take pictures of my beautiful girlfriend. So yeah, I sometimes feel related to Terez, yes, in some way. So next is Lesbian Relationship in 1950s. So as I've already said, lesbian was seen as a taboo so much more than now. So they don't directly show their affection. So like the way they indirectly show their affection towards each other is very, very romantic, and very like, even though they don't make like direct actions, as an audience I was like, oh my god, I got really like nervous. My heart beat so much. I mean, part of the reason is probably Cate Blanchett, but still, yeah, you know. So I mean, yeah, I'm touching myself now, but first of all, like the way Carol touches Terez is very sweet. I mean, for example, I mean, the way she touches Terez's shoulder is like very slow and very gentle, but you know, you feel that there's something, you know, there's some affection in it. So like there were some scenes that, you know, Carol touches Terez, and every time you could feel some affection in it. And compared to that, when Carol holds hands, like shakes hands with the guys, the handshake itself is very firm, but it has no affection. You could actually tell even through the screen. And also the eye contact. I mean, sometimes when Carol and Terez look at each other, they stay like that for a while. And I also stay like that. I also stick to the screen like that, you know. And even without any words, you could tell that they're really into each other. Like, really. And also, sometimes when Carol looks at Terez, you could tell that, you know, she really, really likes Terez, you know. There's a strong feeling towards Terez. I mean, really. I mean, so Carol indirectly shows lots of affections towards Terez, and it's very beautiful, and it's very romantic, and yes, amazing. Again, thank you very much, Kate Blanchett. So another one is fashion. So it's back in 1950s, so different kind of fashion. So when you look at Carol, like, I mean, it's really nice to watch Carol's fashion, you know, like she has different kinds of coats and hats and dresses and gloves. Oh, gloves, you know. Thanks to the gloves, all this story happened, so yeah. But anyways, it's really nice to like just enjoy the fashion as fashion as well. Yeah. So, the characters, the lesbian relationship in back in 1950s, and fashion. These factors make the movie even greater. And of course, there are loads of other factors. You know, like, oh my God, the music is so beautiful and all. But I mean, if I want to talk about Carol, I can really go on for like forever. So I'll stop it here. But please share your like opinions on like what makes this Carol movie so great, you know. So, and now I would like to talk about my personal opinion and my favorite phrases and scene. So, I mean, if I have to choose one favorite scene, I mean, of course, it's going to be the Waterloo scene. I mean, what an art. I mean, I'm talking about when they make love for the first time at Waterloo. You know, I mean, every time I watch Carol on Netflix, I cannot go ahead without repeating that scene. I have to repeat that scene several times, and I like, wow, thank you very much. You know, like, such an art. Really, yeah, like Waterloo scene. Oh my God, yes. And also, there's some favorite lines. There are two favorite lines. So one is when Carol says to Terez that you're my angel, you're an angel flying out of space. So actually she says that twice in the movie, you know. And this really shows that how much actually Terez means to her. So I mean, I've already said it, but Carol's been through a lot, you know, through the divorce, and she's not sure, like, you know, how to live her life, and she really wants the best for her daughter and everything. And then, but what about her life and everything, you know? And then this girl appears, you know, and Carol feels something special about her, and it seems like she's also interested in Carol, and then her life changes dramatically. And I think in that way, like, Terez is really like an angel for Carol, because Carol's life changed a lot, you know, as the life of Terez, really. And also another favorite line is, you know, actually there's something happens during the movie, and they kind of get separated for a while, and Carol writes a letter to Terez, and Carol's, you know, writes things like, you know, oh, like, you're young, so you don't understand, but, you know, everything comes in circle, you know, things happen just because they happen, you know, and you're young, so you want like black and white, you want explanation for everything, but sometimes really things just happen because they happen. But in the end, she's like, when Terez understands, you know, Carol will be there. And then she says, our lives ahead of us, perpetual sunrise. And really, I mean, it really shows like how much Terez means to Carol. You know, when I watched it the first time, I was like, why, Carol? Why? I was crying so much, you know. But later, you know, I mean, I fell in love with mature woman, my girlfriend. I really understand, you know, sometimes we need time to sort things out, and sometimes just things happen. But if something is really meant to be, you know, things all just come back, really. So if we're meant to be, we're meant to be, kind of thing. So, you know, I mean, now it makes more sense to me. And now I realize that, oh, Carol really loves Terez, really. So, you know, like, sometimes me and my girlfriend have arguments and we don't talk for a while. And of course I'm sad when we cannot talk to each other. But then, you know, I always try to remember this line, you know, so our lives ahead of us, perpetual sunrise. And I'm like, okay, we're meant to be, so we should be fine. Yeah, so, I mean, I really love these lines. And yeah, like as you can tell, I'm like, oh my god, Carol, oh my god, Kate Blanchett. But I mean, I also enjoyed, the growth of Terez, because I mean, in the beginning, when Terez met Carol for the first lunch, she even couldn't decide what to order for lunch. But and she could never say no, she just went with the flow, She didn't know how to decide things. But in the end, after some time she became very independent, and she was able to make her own decisions. And Carol could see that change, and she was very delighted actually. So, I mean, it's very amazing to see, the real love, true love changes people in very good ways. And I also learned so much from my girlfriend, and I really appreciate so much. So, I mean, that reflects my life as well. So, I mean, this really is my favorite lesbian movie. So, if you haven't watched it, please watch it. It's so beautiful, really. And if you have watched it, you can watch it again anytime. It never gets old. And then if you and also like please share your comments on Carol, or like if you like some lesbian movies, share your comments, like for example Adele, blue is the warmest color. So I mean, thank you very much for watching today's video, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. So thank you very much, and see you very soon. Bye.